She had roused to an aberrant black, screamed and flailed against some smothering cocoon. She tore through the imprisoning body bag and toppled off the metal gurney and hit her head on the floor. The rank of stagnant death hit her harder than the pain. Damiana leapt to her feet and stumbled through the darker than dark, knocking over another gurney and the corpse on it. She screamed again as she clawed at the imprisoning metal door, until the last thing she remembered dawned on her. She ran her bloodied fingers over the macabre wounds to her body. Dizzied by the memory of the beasts mauling her apart, she leaned against the frigid wall, slid to the floor, and drifted back into the black. She awakened on a balmy bed in a weighty cocoon of bandages, blankets, and tubes. Her agonies were lulled. The soft light soothed her, if only for a moment. She had no idea how much time had gone by. Engaging the beasts had been foolish. The price of doing good was always too high. From morgue to the infirmary, was it not supposed to be the other way around? What would they think? She had just arrived in the small town, and already its haven and respite were fouled. Any males aware of what had happened already knew too much. They were at their worst when wielding all control. Damiana yanked off the tube, streaming air to her nose. She ripped out the needles, seeping fluids into her veins. She climbed off the bed and noticed on herself a short, white gown. Damiana tiptoed to the coat hanger on the wall, grabbed her ravaged cloak, and inched toward the open door. She peeked into a dim corridor. No one. She snuck along, unsure where to go. Every room she passed was dark. They all looked alike. The floor was most unsettling. It resembled the one in the morgue. Cold, smooth, drab white. She tried to put it out of her mind as she neared the end of the hall, where a small waiting area abutted the entrance to a well-lit office. The exit felt near. "Dr. Schmidt!" an approaching male shouted. She crept into the dark space beneath a wooden bench in the waiting area. A male rushed from the opposite way into the office. "Dr. Schmidt!" "Kaylin, what is it, son?" Is it true?" She awaited her chance to slip out of the infirmary unnoticed. "I'm so sorry about your father, Kaylin. Sorry I couldn't attend the service. I have a patient." "A girl?" "Son, you're pretty fragile right now. Go home." Damiana inched out, readying to rush past the office, no longer caring if she was seen. She dove back into the shadows as two other males arrived and rushed into the office. "Sheriff Dollins, Father Wallace," Dr. Schmidt greeted them. "I trust you're here to walk young Kaylin back home. There's really nothing to see here." "Doc, that gal was dead." "Sheriff, it was an honest mistake." "Mistake nothing, Doc. I know dead when I see it." "Sometimes the inexplicable happens," Father Wallace interjected. "Come on, Father. Save the miracle talk for your sermons." "You may want to listen to Father Wallace, Sheriff." "Doc, all that aside. Only way in or out of town is by boat. We're surrounded by mountains on all other sides. So either that naked gal swam here or climbed over them damn peaks." Damiana inched forward again, having heard enough, ready to flee past them all. Again, she dove back into the shadows. A tall, menacing figure stealthily rushed by, unnoticed by the others. He silently stormed each patient room with one hand resting on his gun and his other hand resting on his dagger, both weapons discreetly holstered beneath his long coat. It was Ivor's. That meant the other killers would not be far, or perhaps they were already outside, lying in wait. Crippled with fright, Damiana was unsure whether to flee anymore. She peered past the office to the far end of the corridor. The young nurse exited a room and sat at the front desk. Damiana feared for her life too, for all their lives. The aficionado of death had arrived and was visiting them. Ivers rushed back and stormed the office. "Where is the patient?" Ivers rasped. "Who the hell are you?" the sheriff replied. "You can't just barge in here," Dr. Schmidt said. "The patient is gone," Ivers growled. "Where is she?" "What?" Dr. Schmidt asked. "Impossible." "Not asking you again. Identify yourself," the sheriff demanded. "A friend. Now find the patient." "I don't answer to you." "And evacuate the town," Ivers warned. "You're out of your mind." "Bears are not the problem, Sheriff. Evacuate the town," Ivers ordered, as he stormed out the way he came, past the perplexed nurse. "Get back here!" Sheriff Dollins rushed after him. Dr. Schmidt rushed the opposite way toward the patient rooms, followed by Father Wallace and Kaylin. Damiana remained in hiding, still unsure whether or not to flee. The wilderness was her only escape, but the town was possibly her last hope. Perhaps a local male could be persuaded to help her. Which one? The doctor, the priest, and the boys searched each room again on their way back. The sheriff returned. "She was too gravely hurt to have run out of here, Sheriff," Dr. Schmidt said. "Where's that man? He knows something." "Son of a bitch disappeared. I radioed it in. My boys'll find him," the sheriff reassured. Just then, the boys spotted her hiding place and locked eyes with her. Damiana gasped. "Wait," he said, approaching slowly. She closed her eyes and curled up like a possum to play dead. She had decided to stay rather than flee. She was in a patient's bed again. The local males were arguing in the hall outside. "She's damn strong and healthy for a gal who was dead when I found her, Doc," said the sheriff. "I'm done arguing medical mysteries with you," replied the doctor. "Gentlemen, may we please focus on the task at hand," suggested the priest. "Who is this girl? Where did she come from? Why is that man after her?